10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You're listening to Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof on Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof on Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof on Radio stream. It is Monday, June 8th, 2020. Starting off the new week, more or less, with a nice show for you this evening. Tonight, depending on where you live, I have Jim, who is also known as Greenman, in the, I guess on YouTube, in the chat room. You know him. I'm going to bring him on here in a second. And we're going to talk about things like we did last night with Doug, Game Vet 02. What a great show. What a great interview. I love the story about the spheres. I thought about it today, and I just had to mention it to other people that if you didn't hear this, you got to check it out, because last night's show was great. And then we went over to his channel, and did a little ghost hunting with the spirit boxes, whatever. It was a good time, man. It was a real good time. Coronavirus, one last thing I'm going to say about it. It ain't over. I told you, in Arizona, we're getting record numbers, like 4 times the largest amount we had when it was peaking in April. 2,500 new cases in the last 48 hours? Are you kidding me? And 46 deaths in one day. Hey, man, I just live here. So I don't know. Be careful. You laugh when you see the people with the masks. I'm not laughing as much as I used to. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for people out there, and nobody knows what to do. So I don't blame people if they want to play it safe. Nothing wrong with that. That's how I feel about it anyway. So I'm bringing Jim on. Jim, how are you, man? Welcome to Goof on Radio Stream.
Hey, everybody. How's it going out there in the chat room?
Everybody, oh yeah, chat room. Yeah, I didn't do a Closer Encounters is here. I gotta say, Clarence had us all for a scare for the last month or 3 weeks. Where you been? What's going on? He messaged me today and said he just had no internet, I guess. And I'm glad you're okay, man. Seriously, had a few people looking to see if we could find you. We didn't know what happened. You can't leave for 3 weeks and not say goodbye. All right. I said my piece. Welcome, everybody. Jim, what's going on, man? You the paranormal guy now, or always have been, or what's going on?
I've always been into it. I mean, ever since I was a kid, my father was into it. So, my mom had her own. My mom had her own stories, which is that's her story is like next level shit, and I'll tell you that one later on.
Okay.
Cool. So I've just always been open to it, and kind of since I was a kid, picked up weird feelings and vibes, and
so your whole life.
Yeah, pretty much. I've always read tons. Going through school, I read every occult and paranormal book they had in the libraries, and so. Yeah,
okay, so this is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. Now, that's why we asked the questions. Let's go back to when you were young. What was it like being a young Jimmy?
Not real pleasant.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, in the paranormal sense.
Like
what was the earliest remembrance of anything? What do you remember? Something weird happening? Anything move or?
Probably about the youngest thing that I had that happened to me. We had my mom is from Washington State. And we had some in-laws come down. My Uncle Jack and my Aunt Joanne, and taking them around San Diego, and we took them to Old Town. It's the tourist spot. That's where the Whaley House is.
Oh, and, right. Yeah, cool.
So we're showing them around, and we went into this one place. It's called Casa de Estudillo. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. It's an old, like 1829, I think it was when it was done, but it's basically a square donut with this big open courtyard in the middle. And when I was there with my family, they had like these fountains with, little fish pond in the fountain,
Yep.
The little fountain that came up. And we're walking through there, and my Uncle Jack reaches over, taps one of the little fish on the back, and it shoots down to the bottom. And I'm like, Uncle, I want to do that too. And so I'm trying to reach, couldn't reach. I actually get my knees up on the kind of the brick railing for the pond, and I'm reaching for a fish, and right in the middle of my back, I feel this hand. I go right into the pond.
Oh no!
And come out, and I'm automatically, my Uncle Jack's fucking with me.
Yeah,
because that's what uncles do. He was one of those guys that grabbed your fucking kneecap and like trying to. It was just he was just fucking with you.
Yeah.
So I get out, I'm automatically Jack. I was 5 or 6. Jack pushed me in. Jack pushed me in. And my mom comes over and she's like, no, nobody, you fell in. Yeah, Jack pushed me in. I had no idea until a couple of years back. I'm watching a show on the paranormal in Old Town area.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. They start talking about this place. I had no idea of it being haunted. And one of the things that they said on the show is the biggest complaint is people get pushed. And it just kind of like clicked to me. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, how did you know? What proof was it wasn't your uncle that pushed you in? How?
Well, right after I saw this on the show, I called, because the whole time my mom's like, no, Jack was standing over by me.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
I called her up, And I'm like, yeah, remember that time I fell in? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, where was Jack? He was standing right next to me, like two fountains over.
Wow.
And I'm like, there was nobody around me. And she's like, no.
Wow.
It's like 1 minute you're standing there and the next minute splash.
Wow.
But yeah, I felt 5 fingers right in the middle of my back. Boom. Right.
Yeah.
In. So, I was just the little dumbass kid fucking around and, somebody's having some fun.
And that was your first time experience anything?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Something like that. The house that I grew up in, I always had, it was kind of a story and a half. It had the street level and the house kind of went down on a hill. So we had a full top level and like a half bottom level.
Okay.
And there was a door that went into the cellar type area under the house. And I could be down in that large room, just messing around, playing for hours. And all of a sudden just get this like staring needles in my back kind of feeling coming straight from this door, and I turn around and it was, just stare at the door. It was like it was staring back at you. And I hated being down there at night. That was just the feeling that I got from the house. But, there was also when one of the family stories is related to the Whaley house, went down before I was born. My sister was 5 or 6 and was going through with my parents. And my sister apparently turns to my dad and says, "Why is that little man laughing at you?" And she was pointing to basically a closet with nothing in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then next thing they're standing there and, I don't know if you've ever been to the Whaley house, but there's they kind of partition off the room so you can't really fuck with things.
Okay.
And one of the meat cleavers in the kitchen just started kind of swinging all by itself. There myself, there's always a cold spot going up the stairs. There's no air conditioning, no ventilating ducts anywhere in the house. And you do always get a cold spot walking up the stairs. I was going through one time with my wife, and somebody had taken a picture right behind me, and we hear them, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And apparently there was like some kind of orb or something like right behind my shoulder as we were walking up the stairs. I went one time with my mom and my sister, took a bunch of pictures, took one picture that was up from the bottom of the staircase going up the staircase. The camera went weird. We tried to went through, my mom, my sister, went through the whole house, but in the middle of the staircase, I got a face. And that was the main picture of the staircase going up was in full color. But then I also got all these just black and white ghost images on the same photo of different rooms. So we were thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just a painting from another room and it just happened to land, in these weird exposures right in the stairway. And my mom, my sister went through the whole house, looked at every painting. None of them were the same face. They talked to one of the caretakers, this little old lady. She must have been probably about 120. She had been working there for probably about 100 years and said, yeah, they do have paintings and rotate stuff out. So the place kind of like stays fresh, but this face isn't any of the paintings. So I've got that weird image showed up.
Yeah, that's cool.
I also lucked out one time, junior college, for one semester, they had a parapsychology class and I got into that. And that was our place to go to a field trip, was the Whaley house. And that time got another picture.
That's cool.
There's a front door and then there's a back door along this hallway. Both doors were open and I'm standing towards the back. Halfway on the wall down the hallway, there's a perfect silhouette of a woman with long hair. And the light from the open door, you could see it's going around the shadow. The light from the back door, you could see it's also going around the shadow on the other side. The shadow is on the negative. So yeah, I took it in.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, took it all into my teacher, showed it to her, and she's like, "Can I have a copy of this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
You said that was a parapsychology class in junior high?
Yeah,
You know,
or
being
junior college.
junior
Junior
college, yeah,
college.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, being someone who literally was born into this field with folks who believe it greatly, practiced it, I guess, were researchers too. But whatever it was, you were born into this. Do you think, as somebody who was born into this with this knowledge, it's probably innate, probably it's inside of you, and you don't even know it when you're young, because your parents' knowledge is what went into you, when you were growing inside your mother. But being born into it, do you think we should have these types of classes in high school or earlier to get people? And what do you think about that? Because, people find this stuff really weird, don't like talking about it. It's almost like religion. Do you think this should be
Yeah.
taught in schools, or maybe as an alternative? Or
I think it would be a good elective. I mean, because it
an
was
elective?
a fun,
Thank you.
was a fun class. That if you go through, a lot of these buildings are history, so you go through, you get history at the same time. It also kind of break the stigma, like you say. It's, to some people, if they don't understand it, it's demons.
I wonder if that's something that would be rebuffed by the government if teachers or schools decided they wanted to have a spirituality course as a legitimate credit towards college. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it would be a great elective, as you say, because why not? I think people are really interested in it, and you would be surprised to see an empty seat in those classes. I guarantee it. Well, that's interesting. And would you like to ever teach this? If somebody offered you a job,
well, hey, yeah, you want to pay me to talk ghosts and UFOs and shit like that all day long, just don't feed me a bunch of horse shit.
I would love it. I would love to be a teacher of this field, man. That'd be killer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna call something bullshit if I see bullshit.
Yeah. Because it all is pretty much. But
there are things you can and you can't explain. I mean, whether it's aliens or whether it's a ghost is just an imprint on an environment. It's something we don't understand. That's the big point. We don't fully understand it, and you're not going to learn anything by running away. Be open to what you don't understand, and you'll understand what you do a whole lot better.
Well, it's interesting. These people go looking for it, and then when they find it, they act so crazy and irresponsible. It's amazing. I know when I got my arm tugged on, it freaked me out because I've been on several ghost hunts and never had any experiences like that. And it freaked me out. I still think about it to this day. It was something that impacts you so much. But if I would have been prepared more for it, if somebody would have told me this is what it feels like, don't get scared, I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah.
I mean, it startles you, especially at night when you're alone. But I know if we can maintain our composure.
You can keep your guard up for a fight when you see a dangerous situation, but that's something completely out of left field. You can't just be prepared for, ghost attacks at any fucking time.
The worst ones are one of the ones you don't see, because I think they attack me when I sleep and other people, and I don't know what they're doing. Well, some people say they're trying to steal our energy to manifest, move things, do things. Do they? What do you think? How do they maintain that energy all these years?
Well, I think once we pass, it's not a matter. I think it's kind of we become energy. What is us? We, if you can call it that, a soul, a spark, a spirit, whatever whatever you want to call it. Because you break it down by religion, and it's it's all the same story. They just use different verbiage, different names. But you look at it, each group had 13 disciples. Each, has some main. Same thing. It's just, same story. The names change.
Yeah.
But
so what does that mean?
we definitely go on. We become something more. I think we come back to learn what we have to learn to evolve ourselves before we can either go to a heaven or become part of a joint collective of all the enlightened, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I think we're here basically to learn things.
I understand that. Okay. So if we're here to learn things, and I'm not debating that because I don't know, but let me ask you if this makes sense though. If they're here to learn things, why don't we remember anything we learned to help us get through this life? We're not coming in with any knowledge. We're coming in as infants that need help to live. And it doesn't make sense to me. I wish I could believe in that. I think go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I think the theory I kind of run with is we are here for a specific lesson. Now, what we've learned previous, the knowledge, that may interfere us from learning what we have to learn here. Our last life, say we had to learn how to control our tempers. This life, we have to learn how to, have a better sense of compassion. One lesson and one, life, and its history may entangle the thinking of the present.
Or not. If you have the knowledge, I know what you mean though. So if you had a problem, let's say with anger, and then when you come back the next time, you have a problem with jealousy, but the anger is no longer there. But jealousy is also anger in some ways. So then we'll say those two are one and the same. Okay, so maybe you don't steal when you come back this time. So when you come back, you don't have the urges to steal. Is that what you mean? It's like those urges just go away and you just keep evolving into a smarter and more spiritual creature?
Yeah.
But you already are, so why have to do it with this human being? I don't understand. For the experience?
Who knows?
I know, right?
That's part of the big mystery.
And why have more and more of us? We keep populating, and I don't know, do they have too many people that want to live as a human and learn what it's like? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just want the experience as a human. It's like a Total Recall.
Yeah, it could be like a physical, thing. It's, I've heard of, having like meditation and transcendental meditation and having out of body experiences. And there's one story. The musician Steve Vai is, has been big on it for years and years and years. And he wrote a song called Erotic Nightmare. And it's all, the idea behind it is he went out, had an out of body, and came across all these beings having this giant fucking orgy. And he hops into it. But the big thing is, no physical form, you can't come. So that's the whole thing behind the idea of erotic nightmare is you're going at it and you're going at it and you're going at it, but you can never finish. Certain things, certain feelings, sensations, I think can only be done through the human form. And people get, it's like, damn, I'm horny. I got to go back, something.
So we're just entertainment. Pretty much. It's how it feels. If that's the way, I know it's a learning experience, but I think that would be a form of entertainment for them, if they're learning how to skydive or shoot pool or swim, that's entertainment too, going to the movies.
Yeah.
I just, what bothers me about it is seeing the images, seeing apparitions or things we don't understand, shape-shifting shadows and demons and angry spirits, and oh man, the list just goes on. And I wonder why there's so many different creatures floating around, coming and going. Can never get them on video, or it's very rare, and it does happen, but it's not provable enough. But I guess these are all the beings that have been on Earth or have come here and stayed for thousands of years. Is that? I just want to know how they sustain that energy and come and go as they please. That to me is interesting.
Yeah, that's that is the $1 million question.
Like, why would we see images of our grandmother, or someone we love come back to us? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, if it's something like that, it could be, to help. There's somebody watching over your shoulder. Every once in a while, you're about to get into a car wreck. You hear that, slow down. Somebody's looking out for you. I think that happens from time to time.
Well, I like to believe that there are guardian angels. I would have to believe that I even have one or two of my own. The way things have gone so terribly bad have been so awesome at the same, like for 3 months it's awful, for 3 months it's great. And I know that's life. You're going to have ups and downs with over time, but it's weird because you could ask for something over and over and imagine it, and then it just somehow gets to you through like a miracle form. Like, how did this even happen? It shouldn't have happened. It's too many coincidences. It's almost as if you have a guardian angel.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an actual apparition? Or a guardian angel, maybe? I don't know.
Well, if you want to count, my pups coming back and visiting me.
Your who?
My dogs.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's they have spirits.
I've seen a few little things around here that were just, that reminds me of, Ren or something, because I understand you had a dog, right?
Yeah.
And dude, there are certain mannerisms, movements that you would recognize. Oh, that's him.
Of course, and
things like that. Movements, color flashes that were, that must have been him. So, but
I hear my dog shaking his, when dogs shake their head and their ears make that sound. I hear that, and I know that's my dog's shake. It's so bizarre. Yeah, I hear that quite a bit, and it just makes me feel good. Well, you would think, why? Why would there be an imprint of that here in my world, in reality, or is this like a Matrix reality? So I've always wondered about that too. Have you ever thought about that kind of reality, or is it too hard to put your?
Well, are you?
Just the possibility. I mean, I know anything's possible.
Being in some kind of mass illusion type, programmed life.
Just like the movie. Yeah.
I don't really buy that. I think humanity is weird enough. Nobody could script it.
But you know why? Because we're living in a matrix. if you think about that,
we're programmed to be batshit crazy.
Maybe, but what it does is it fills in all the holes. Aliens, UFOs, ghosts. Because that would make sense. Oh yeah, just like in a real video game. If I wanted to bring my dog with me, press dog and there he is. Press Bigfoot here for Earth. Oh, there he is. Haha.
Yeah.
I know. It's
I've
hard
never been
for
one
me
for
to
the Matrix theory. I'll give it more credit than the flat earthers, but
oh wow. I thought it would be much closer than that's
No.
no. Okay.
Yeah, we're not riding a turtle's back.
No, we're not. But it is interesting, though. I don't know. Are you into conspiracies too?
Yeah. I've been into, like I said, everything pretty much my whole life.
Well, but what do you think about the moon? Is it possible we didn't go there?
It's possible. Personally, I think we went. I'd like to believe that we went. I don't think it was faked. I don't think they say Stanley Kubrick or whoever fucking faked it on some movie set. I don't buy that. I think we went, and I think we were kind of told to stay the fuck off.
Yeah.
After a while. There's a whole different freaking storyline for the moon, whether it's been there the whole time, because there's ancient texts about writing where they say the time before the moon.
Yeah, right.
So even when they did the Apollo missions, when they took off and they launched the lander back down to crash, they had already set up seismic, detectors all over the moon.
Right.
And when the lander hit, the moon rang for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, like a bell.
Yeah, and you can actually go on, when they did the Apollo missions, they did like a promotional film for each one afterwards.
Okay.
And the first Apollo mission they did that for, you can go on, and they still have that in the movie, that the bell, it rang like a bell for so long. They did it again a couple of missions later, and they intentionally landed it even harder. The fucking moon rang for like 3 hours or something like that, and that they did not put in the promotional film from NASA.
But didn't it ring though, because there's no gravity, no air pressure, no mountain ranges really, and it could be maybe not as thick as they think, but without gravity and atmosphere, I don't know, maybe it could ring, like that for a while. No, that's a long time.
I don't know. We have rocks here, on the Earth that if you hit, they'll ring out like bells for a little while. It's definitely a curiosity.
That is odd, though. Yeah, even if you would have told me that the moon rang for 10 minutes, I would have thought that was long. So like 90 minutes, that's crazy. At 2 hours, 3 hours, it could be. But if it was hollow and people are living in the moon, wouldn't their living quarters take up that empty space? I guess. I don't know. What do I know?
Not the whole thing.
I don't know. Who's up there?
Yeah.
It could have been a machine, right? It's very odd size for our planet. It's ridiculously huge.
Yeah. You ask all the science people, they'll say it for the dimension and the size that it is for the size planet we have. They haven't seen anything else with the moon same size comparison. The location of it being where it is, so we get a perfect full total eclipse. That
From
by
the sun,
itself, that by itself is an oddity.
It is odd. Yeah, and if there's a video, I posted it a few shows ago, that how hard it is for life to have been here on Earth. Without the moon, it would have never been possible, I don't think, because I don't know, the Earth was wobbling. The seasons would happen every 3 weeks or something. It would have been crazy.
Seriously stabilizes the planet.
What's more interesting, though, where did all this water come from? And it couldn't have been from thousands of meteors. They said that or comet. They said that wouldn't have made all this water. Maybe we were just an ice core. Earth would. Well, I don't know. That's not possible either.
Yeah.
It is odd. And why do we have plate tectonics? And when everything was as one land, what, 455 million years ago, and then it broke up into what we have today over all those millions of years, and then it's going to come back together and then break apart again. It seems like a machine too.
Well, a natural machine, with the rotation of the core and everything spinning underneath it. We're floating on top of lava, so plates are all broken up.
Yeah,
that's a lot of pressure, a lot of heat. You'd be surprised what it can do.
I know. I don't know. Without the moon, none of this would be possible. It's maybe the moon was brought here. Maybe that's like the recipe to make life. Maybe the aliens figured it out and they create these universes. I don't know.
Saw a big ball with a lot of water and a lot of the makings, but thought it was too unstable and started a little lab.
Yeah, in space. So do you do any do you still go out and research and record stuff?
I'm a homebody. I read, I check out, videos, look at them. That's bullshit. That could be, maybe, but out here in San Diego, there's so much light. You can't really see a whole lot. You either have to go up to the mountains, where we actually have a really kick-ass telescope here, and they actually have like orange lights instead of white lights for street lights, so it doesn't totally trash the telescope. But you either have to go up to the mountains or out to the beach, really out there beach areas. But I've did see something once over the water out here that was kind of weird. I was with a couple people. We all saw it. It was something weird. We don't know what it was. It was up in the sky.
Yeah.
So, we were out. There's a stretch of beach out here called Sunset Cliffs. It's like a scenic spot. Go out and watch the sunset and everything. It's just basically a cliff that just drops out, out to the water. And it was me, my ex-wife, and a friend of mine, and we're just hanging out there. And it was night. And looking up, and I see, in this relation to the street sign, I see like a red light or a white light with a red center sitting there. I'm just kind of looking at it. I'm like, what the hell's that? And kind of, when I see something weird, I start, okay, what could it be? What could it not be? What's where? And I'm thinking, okay, ocean, thinking, is it a lighthouse? But it's not a lighthouse. We don't have any in that area. It was, the land was here, the light was here, so it's not on land, it's over the water.
Right.
And so I'm just watching this thing, and I, told the others I'm with about it. They start watching it too. And I made sure that I didn't move. I stayed where I was and used this street sign as a location to where, because it would blink for a while and then it would go out. And then it would come over here in relation to the sign.
Okay.
And blink for a little while and then go out. And then it would come up here.
Wow.
And it did that 5 or 6 times. And then it was gone. We're looking for it. And we see one quick out of nowhere real quick. And that was it.
Wow. How long did that last?
We were sitting there watching it for probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Did you get it on video?
No, this was back in 96, 97 before, the phones and everything. Otherwise, I sure as hell would have.
Yeah, that's before. Yep. Wow, what a great sighting, though. Shit. Oh, man. Were there 3 lights or just 2 or 4?
No, it was one light with a white with a red center.
A white light with a red center. That is weird.
And it would, just kind of sit there for a while, and the red center would kind of change a little bit and move around, but the white would stay in place, and then it would gone. Then it would just disappear and reappear in a different spot.
What time was this?
This was, I'd say, probably 8 to 9 at night.
Oh, okay. So it was dark out.
Yeah.
Man, that's a cool sighting.
So
was there something else you wanted to mention?
Which topic do you want to go on? Do you want to go on ghosts, or I've got one more UFO, or I've got a whole bunch of ghosts?
Whatever you, yeah, I would like to hear what everything really.
Okay.
How about another UFO one?
Okay. This one I will say right now, I'm not 100%. This was either the most vivid dream that happened to correspond with a weird anomaly, physical anomaly, or it was something odd.
Already understand. Yep.
Okay. So I was probably about 5 or so. I wake up one night in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom. I walk out my bedroom door, and off to the side is the living room. We had this big picture window in the living room.
Okay.
And the whole living room is nothing but just bright white light. And I'm thinking, oh shit, what the hell happened? Every once in a while we'd get, people come through too fast and it was kind of on a curve. We get a car wreck or something like that. So I'm thinking, oh, somebody flipped over and the headlights is pointing in, but it was way brighter than headlights. So I kind of move over a little bit, get a better view, and in the yard, I see a white ball of light that was maybe 5 to 6 feet across.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm a little kid. I'm like, oh shit. So I automatically hit the deck and army crawl across the living room floor. And, like I said, if this was a dream, every sensation I had, I could feel the carpet. I could, because when you dream, there's always something that's left out. You can't smell something, you can't touch, you can't feel when you touch something. Everything was there. Temperature, touch, everything was there.
It's real world,
yeah. Yeah, and I'm crawling across the floor up to the window, and I get up and I peek up over the window, and sure enough, man, this thing is fucking in the front yard, a couple feet off the ground. And I'm just like, oh shit. I look at it for a minute. I'm like, I need to get back to bed. So I crawled back. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I crawled back to bed.
Did you think it was a robber or somebody in the back front yard or what?
No, dude, this was a big ball of white light in the front yard.
Okay.
And the light, there was no flashlight that was lighting up my entire living room completely white.
Was it in the street, on the sidewalk, or actually on your property?
Front yard? It was in my front yard.
Wow. So it's not that far away.
No.
Okay.
And so the next morning in the front yard is about a 3.5 to 4 foot ring of grass.
No way.
That is about 3 or 4 inches taller than the rest of the yard. And I have since looked up what the hell could cause this. There is a fungus that is called fairy ring.
Yeah.
That can cause a similar thing. But I've also read that is harder than hell to get rid of, and it can last years. Once we mowed the lawn, it never grew back. It was a one-time thing.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, that was either something in my yard.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. Or, a coincidence between this crazy-ass fucking vivid dream and this ring in my yard.
Those dreams, or I think you were probably awake. I mean, I know the difference between, like, once you wake up, it was a dream. You could then tell. As it's happening, you can't.
Yeah.
But in a dream, every time I've questioned, is this a dream? I wake up at that point. Mm-hmm. As soon as you question the dream, it starts to dismantle. That's unbelievable, though. I think you might have had a real experience.
Yeah, because I have kind of since in the last few years, I've kind of like learned to recognize when, if I'm having a dream and like you said, you think about it and you're out. I've kind of learned how to sort of keep myself in that dream and take control of it.
Wow.
That was something that I picked up in, the last 10 years ago. This was not when I was five.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think that has to do like these experiences at such a young age? I mean, that's definitely a message for you, whether it was a dream or you were awake. Either way, I think that's a message. I think that it comes from your parents, though. They may have always had these things around because they did. Were they into it? See, I imagine your parents being like hippie types and having seances and shit, but I'm not sure if I'm right about that.
No.
Like before you were born, they could have been different.
Well,
my parents were.
Yeah, my parents did things. I remember when I was a kid, finding the shoebox of weed in the closet, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no hippies. My dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't a hippie. He was too big of an asshole to be a hippie. They would have kicked him out of the commune PDQ.
So it's not like, okay, when you were born, your parents believed in it. It's not like they were active in researching it or anything.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. We watched TV shows, like In Search of back in the 70s with, Nimoy.
Roberts. Yeah.
Love that show, watched all that, but it was always, kind of open because, my mom would tell her story, which is nuts. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
And, so it was always just an open topic. It was never like shut off. We weren't overly religious, the only time we went to church was, Christmas Eve. So, in the middle of the night, so they could, smuggle the presents out under the tree and we came back and, oh, Santa came. That was about it, so we weren't indoctrinated as to, oh, they're demons or they're this or something evil or, this doesn't exist. It was just kind of open.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that, like you're saying, a message. It's helped me, if nothing else, it's helped me keep an open mind to everything.
See, I'm wondering if your parents' belief triggered more for you when after you were born. I'm sorry, I saw Autopilot is asking if he's blocked. Shouldn't be. I can check for you if you'd like.
He paid $2.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, let's get a drink real quick. I'll see if Autopilot's blocked. Just if you were blocked, you wouldn't be able to be seen. Let's check anyway because he did pay for it. And then I want to hear about your mom's.
Yeah, my mom's story.
Oh, hold on a second. By the way, have you been following the Secure Team 10 saga?
Oh, the fucking Tyler?
Have you been? Yeah. With him in Lions Ground?
I've been laughing at him for a long time.
Well, did you see the new video Lions Ground put out about everything yesterday?
No.
Ah.
What's the deal? What did he finally give up? Because I think he's like, going to elope with one of the jail, prison guards that he met while he was in there.
Lions Ground says that he was showing us that how generous he is to Tyler and how he didn't take Tyler's money. And then he shows himself walking up to a homeless guy sitting on a bench and giving him some money. He goes, see, I'm not such a bad guy. People have the wrong thing of me. And it's all about posturing.
Yeah, it's fucking staged, asshole.
Yeah, everything is with this whole thing, I think. I don't think anything was stolen. Nobody has any real proof that what do you call it? That stupid Alienware logo was copywritten. He couldn't have gotten a copyright transfer that quick. I don't care what he says. He didn't show any proof of it. He redacted everything. Is it redacted when they black it out? No. When they black everything out, you can't see the name and address. That's not redacted, is it? Is that redacted? I can't think right now because I'm still looking for. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, see if what's his autopilot is blocked. All right, I'm back on track. Yeah, but I'll just put the link in the chat room and you guys can watch it. I don't want to play and promote Lions Ground anymore or Secure Team. I'm pretty much done unless I hear Tyler, something happened to him, like and that's news.
Fuck him.
Yes, fuck him. Exactly.
Sorry, not sorry.
I don't even care. People say, you said that before. Nah, this time. Once I see a guy like that give in and give up without a fight,
yeah,
I don't care about you anymore.
Yeah, he's full of shit anyway.
Of course he is.
Stories are full of shit. He's full of shit. MIB are chasing him. They plundered his ass. Who fucking cares?
He got beat up in prison.
Yeah.
Yet he's driving around drunk and high on drugs. All right, here I am. Let's see if you're blocked. No. You are alien autopilot. Nope, you're not blocked, big guy. You're not blocked. Sorry.
Hey.
Oh, I have a
safe,
message.
Otto.
I have a message to tell everybody. It's a sad one, and I keep forgetting about it. And I'm going to tell you right now. Let me get a drink real quick because this is sad. I don't mean to do it while we're having your interview, but
that's fine.
I wanted to say, do you guys remember a guy named Gordon Hamilton? A lot of you know he used to give me a hard time, and we'd have some fights. I'd block him, and then I'd let him back in because he'd apologize. And then he said some really vicious things about my dog when he died and how I acted. So I blocked him, and then he really apologized, was almost in tears. So I unblocked him. So we haven't had the best relationship. He was under a lot of stress. Come to find out, he passed away. I think it was the April 15th or 16th. So if anybody knew Gordon, everybody knew Gordon when he was here in the beginning. He was the funny guy. He was really cool. And then he would have issues and he'd get angry. And I think it had to do with his health declining and frustrating for him, to maybe be healthy enough to say anything or watch all of his favorite shows. But he is no longer with us. Hopefully he is here. And I think he got my message that I didn't know he was dying. I mean, nobody knew. He was prideful of that, I guess, and didn't want to burden anybody with it. But anyway, you never know. We say all these things about Lions Ground and Tyler, and next thing you know, they're no longer with us. It's that easy. It's that quick. But fuck them anyway, right?
Essentially. You don't talk shit
while
about
I'm
a man's
alive.
dog.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Not the dogs, man. You gotta, you watch your mouth around the dogs.
And you just can't, be Tyler, do Tyler things. And we should call those Tylers. I don't know. I'm really just like, I don't like talking about Richie from Boston anymore. Something just about wears on you after a while. It's like either it gets old or you really don't like the guy for who they are.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He's racist. He's a homophobe. He hates religion. He hates everything. It's not a good way to live. Life
no
is
matter
what you're
what,
making it.
Yeah. No matter what you do, you're not going to change somebody else.
Right.
They have to have some. They have to have something in their life that hits them to the core before they change.
It happened to me.
It happened to me.
Right. Thank God it happened early.
So, you're just, I one of my problems in life is my temper. That's one of the things I got from my dad.
Yeah.
And dude, I would be mad all day long over stupid shit. And then I came to realize this asshole is gone, but I'm still sitting here brewing over it, pissed off. They're winning. They're not even here.
Right.
You know, so now it's just like, that's my thing. Just don't let them win. Fuck them. Don't let them win. Stupid people are going to be stupid. Rubber dickers are going to be rubber dickers. You're going to have Tylers. You're going to have all. They're going to be out there. You can't do anything about it. Be happy in your life in your time. That's the best you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, life is what you make of it. And if you think everybody's out to get you, then everybody's out to get you. Because I used to think that all the time. Now, like you said, whatever happens, happens, basically. I can't stop it. Just whatever.
Because you think about it, and then your personality starts to develop around it. You start watching everybody closer, and then everybody notices you're watching them closer. And, you know, they either stop coming around because they think you're going batshit fucking crazy, or, you know, well, dude, he's always looking at me like I'm doing something. Fuck it, I'm actually going to do something because he's always thinking I'm doing it anyway.
It's not a fun way to live. Yeah.
No.
It's not a fun way to live at all. No. So I want to hear this. Any other stories you want to tell us?
Yeah, I got a couple a few more personal ghost stories, and then I'll do a mom story, the grand finale.
Oh, excellent! All right.
So one of the other things I had one of the places I lived, we would get weird things every once in a while, and one of the things was one of my dogs would always just be watching something go in and out of the kitchen. You know, he'd just sit there and just watch it back and forth. He'd sit there, come out in the living room, and then he'd watch it go back into the kitchen, and always seeing something. And then one day I'm at work, and the wife texts me, "The front door just opened and closed by itself." And I'm like, "What?" And now I'm a locksmith by trade. Okay. I have been for 30 some odd years. So I automatically start thinking technical. Okay. Was the door fully latched? Yes, it was fully latched. Okay. What's going on? Was it windy? No, there was no wind. It just opened, hung there for a second, and closed itself and fully latched itself again.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, and so it had to just, okay, well, relax. He's not messing with you. Don't worry about it. Or the boy's freaking out, you know, the dog's going crazy. No, then don't worry about it. You're fine. That was one thing that happened to her. We were both sitting there one night watching TV, and it sounded like somebody, because it sounded like big, heavy footprints. It sounded like somebody ran right across our roof. And run outside real quick, because I'm thinking, oh shit, somebody's trying to, you know, break in or running from the cops or something. What's going on outside? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, that was one place. Went to the Winchester house one time and got an interesting photo there. I was walking out through the front yard, looking up, and you know how the famous door that drops out from the second floor.
I can't remember the Winchester house.
Yeah, there's this big kind of bedroom that, you know, glass that comes out, and then right off to the side there's a door that drops out right out into the front garden.
Okay.
And we're walking through, and what I'm doing is every time I took a picture of something, I took 2 pictures of it. And I'm in the garden. Up at the second floor, I take one picture of this window of this bedroom, and I take another picture. One of the pictures is just the window. Another picture is a face in the window. So back to back, didn't move. You know, I didn't change angles. The Winchester house, when you go on the tour, they have, you know, the little, you know, velvet rope type things, you know, that block out so you can only go in so far. I was outside, downstairs, shooting up, and the ropes wouldn't allow anybody to come in that far into the room to be right up against the window for me to catch them, you know. So that was another weird photo that I got.
That's unbelievable. That's now I pulled a picture up of it. Wow, that is, now I know. That looks like a house that was in Back to the Future. Looks like Yeah, you know whose house that looks like? It
Oh,
looks like
kind of like
George
the
McFly's. Here, look. I'm going to pull it up for everybody and put it in the thing so you guys can see this. It's wild. Hold on a second. Seriously. Oh, there it is. Okay. Whew. I'm losing it. All right, stop that. Let's share the screen. Let's go there. Chrome tab it. Yeah, there it is. We're on it. Have you ever watched that show Paranormal Caught on Camera?
Yeah.
They have had the most incredible shows the last couple of weeks. I love that show. I think it's one of the best things I've ever seen. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
So-
I like it. You know, I watch it. You know, some of them I don't really buy, but some of them are kind of interesting. Oh yeah.
This is right there. So you were talking about where? Here?
Yeah, I will a little bit right around the corner. Right, see where that blue, the long blue partition is, right or
Like right here?
oh, in the other direction. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure is the dropout door.
Oh,
and,
how funny.
and I was taking pictures of the windows right next to it.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wild. That is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous place. It is an awesome tour. And if you go during the Halloween season, they have a midnight lights out tour, and you just walk around with flashlights.
Here's a 3D tour. What a cool place, man.
Yeah, the craftsmanship in that whole place is just amazing. And you'd be surprised how many patents she actually came up with just by these seances and whatnot. Because I know as a locksmith, there are a good dozen things that she patented that I still put in to this day. Every one-sided knob,
Wow.
you know, that was her thing. Little elbow catches, all kinds of weird little gadgets and stuff. You look back, she's got the patent for them.
What do you think is the best of the best evidence grabber? What tool should we all be using when ghost hunting? Three. Give me three. Three things.
I would definitely say a recorder for EVP, EMF, tri-field meter. The spirit boxes, I don't know.
The best I'm talking about, not maybe something you have to bring. I know you have to bring a camera and the recorder, but
actually, yeah, a camera. You would have the camera recorder and like an EVP or tri-field meter.
So really, we're using the same top three things we've been using for the last 20 years.
Until somebody comes up with something else.
I think what we should be doing, and there is a group out there, I can't remember the name, but I'll find it, that's using the older way of getting EVPs with the tape recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those 90-minute tapes? You know, they're blank.
Yeah.
You just hit record and let it go and put in a recorder or a big bit. I can't speak. I was going to say boombox.
Yeah, the analog tape recorders.
Yes.
But the problem with those is the blank tapes are getting pretty rare, aren't they?
True, but I think while they're still around, that should be used at the same time. I think you get different type of answers or different type of vibrations, or I don't know why it is. Sometimes like one recorder will pick something up and the other one won't. Is it because the energy didn't go by it?
Well, I've seen the same thing with different types of cameras.
Yeah, right.
You know, there was actually right down the road from the Winchester house. There was, this was on an old episode of That's Incredible. That's why I saw it when I was a kid. There was a haunted Toys R Us. And the story goes, there was on the land before, there was a farmer who had a farmhand, and the farmhand was in love with the owner's daughter. but she was promised to marry to somebody else, and he was chopping wood or some shit, chopped into his leg, nobody around, bled out there. And he is still roaming the grounds, and they built a Toys R Us over the the ground.
Okay.
And they had like kind of like this investigation there one night, and they had a infrared camera and a regular camera shooting at the same time down this aisle of the toy store. The infrared camera actually got a shadow kind of leaning against the aisle, and the
I've
regular
seen
camera
this.
got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on a show, right? I know
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's wild. I can't believe that. That's the story. Yeah. He axed himself in the leg and bled out.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. All right, what's you said you have that your mom's story.
Yeah, my mom's story. So
you looked at me like, yeah, this is
So-
gonna be good. All right, sorry.
Yeah. Now my mom was raised in a little country area. Even to this day, it is 2 miles to your nearest neighbor, rolling hills of farms. It's a little area outside of Spokane, Washington called Valley Ford. Now, when she was a kid, it was kind of like family friends between her and this other family that actually owned the house where all the shit happened. You know, my grandma was friends with the mom of that family. My mom was friends with the daughter. And when this family bought this house and moved in, it was a couple weeks, and they started noticing, you know, little noises, bumps, and whatnot. And then it got to be every night at 2:00, they would hear somebody walk up the stairs because it was a 2-floor house. Every night, 2:00, boom, 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 up the stairs. There was a little access door that led under the stairs, you know, underneath the house. And that door would keep opening by itself. And at one point, the dad took a nail and jammed it in, didn't nail the door shut, but you know how you stick a penny between the door and a frame and you can kind of block the door?
Yep.
Did that with a nail, you know, push it in between the gap, and it was stuck. And yeah, comes back and the door's open.
Mm.
And, you know, so he's telling the neighbors about this shit. And the neighbor's like, oh, why don't you just nail the damn door shut? And he's like, fuck that. If I nail that thing shut and it opens up again, I'm fucking moving. You know, I got to move if that happens. You know, there was also on the second floor of this house, there was this one room that always gave everybody just a creepy vibe. You know, you had the mom, the daughter, or mom, the wife, and then 2 daughters. The 2 daughters shared one bedroom because even though they could each have their own, because nobody wanted to go in this room. So they just used it for storage. There was one point to where the daughter that was friends with my mom, you know, went off, got married, had a kid, got divorced, came back to live at the house. And they were setting up the crib for the baby, right? And they were trying to open up this window to get some fresh air for the baby. It had been painted shut for years. All day they worked at this door or this window trying to get it open, frozen shut, not going to budge. Well, that night, it was weird for the child to do this. Crawled out of the crib, got into bed with her mom. Also in the middle of the night, the window that they were trying to get out fell into the crib.
Oh my God.
And broke. So they were thinking,
oh wow.
At that point, the dad had passed away, and I'll tell you how he passed away in a second. So they were thinking maybe grandpa was trying to save her by, you know, hey, come on, get up, go lay with your mom.
Wow.
You know, yep. The dad actually, a couple weeks prior to when this actually happened, the mother was sitting in the living room and she sees 2 people in white carrying a stretcher through the kitchen. The father actually had terminal cancer, didn't tell anybody. and didn't want to go through the whole thing of treatment, didn't want to put the family through all this shit. So he actually went up into that room and shot himself.
Oh my God.
It got to be so bad at this house. You know, it was always, and my mom would have to come over when they would go out of town. And, you know, it was a farm, so they had animals and horses. My mom would have to come over and feed all the animals.
Oh man.
And she would always say, it's like, you got the creepiest feeling when you're walking around the yard. You were always being watched. And she's like, it always felt like it was coming right out of that window of that creepy ass room. And it got to the point to where all the daughters were all moved out and gone again. The husband had killed himself, and it was just the mom. And the mom was spending all the time hanging out with my grandma at her house because she didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
And
Can't blame her.
Yeah. And they've been, telling her, why don't you just move? Her words, it'll kill me before it lets me go.
Wow.
And literally came down to a bunch of her friends in trucks showing up at her front door one day saying, here, hop in the truck, go visit Estelle. That was my grandmother.
Okay.
And, go hang out with Estelle. Didn't say anything else. Moved her out while she was gone. And then, told her, you don't have to go back anymore. And, after hearing this, this story all my life, me and my mom go back up to Washington one time during high school. And I'm like, all right, let's go out there and see this place.
Yeah.
And all over, we found the plot of land. They had moved the whole fucking house.
Where?
Down the road a couple miles. Because
oh my God.
We found the land. And my mom's like, this is where it was. What the hell's going on? Where'd it go? And, we hit up, like I said, man, it's still little, everybody knows everybody community. And we go down to the little country store and, the guy's like, oh yeah, that house. I remember that house. Yeah, they moved it down the way and did this, like that. A bunch of years back, they moved it. So for some reason, they moved the damn house. Whether no idea if what was there, what was doing anything went with the house or went with the land, or that's why they were thinking maybe that move the house, they'll get rid of it. But yeah, so
that's unreal.
Yeah, that's my mom's crazy story.
Damn. So did anybody ever did anything ever happen after the house? After she moved out, like was it attached to her? Does anybody?
No. She never had any complaints after that. When she was out, she was fine. So it didn't follow her. Whatever it was either on the land or in the house or.
You know what? It didn't follow her because she didn't talk to anybody about moving out because of it at that time. So they probably figured she was coming back.
You caught them by surprise, but
yeah,
I don't know. I've heard there's been different cases where you hear things following people, like the entity case. Have you ever
the actual one from the movie?
Yeah. The actual real case files about that. It's
that's the one with the kids too, right?
Yeah. She had a couple kids and she moved to Texas. It followed her, a couple places in California. She moved out to Texas, followed her out there and slowly dissipated. But, I think it's something to look at when you have a case that has a photograph and photography, Magritte magazine actually publishes it as the only unexplainable ghost photo ever.
Yeah.
That they that they put in their magazine.
Is that the one where the walking down the stairs or something?
No.
This
was the case where the lady was being beaten and actually raped.
No, I mean the photo itself.
It was they were doing an investigation in her bedroom.
Okay.
And they were getting what they were seeing were balls of light shooting across the room.
Okay.
But what the camera got were arches of light.
Oh, wow.
And the one that the photography magazine published was one that they had the original negatives, everything. They examined it themselves, and one of the arches of light was in between, was like in a corner, but the light wasn't bent. It was still a perfect arch. If it was projected on the wall, the light would have bent in a different way.
Oh, I see.
And
if it was,
yeah. So the magazine and their photography experts said this thing appears to be floating in space. It's not a projection. It's appears the same on the negative. This is something we don't know. If it was faked, they couldn't figure out how it was done.
They didn't think it was probably the frame rates per second or the shutter being left open for longer exposure or different.
The research team shared what kind of camera, what type of
Wow.
film. They had all of the specs of everything that they used. And
Can't
these
figure it
guys,
out.
you make it. If your living is putting out a magazine about photography and cameras and shit like that, you should better damn well know what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're gonna look like a fool every month, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So you would imagine that they know what they're looking at when they're looking at it.
Yeah. I guess that takes care of that. Well, that's unreal, though. See, that's what makes me curious about these topics that we look into is how is it possible that we can't see it when it's right in front of us? I know you're going to say it's either a different vibration, but that makes sense. It could be at a different vibration in that, or a different spectrum of light that I can't see. That's what it is. But no, then you would feel it. And sometimes when you do feel it, usually it's like a cold draft or a cold spot.
Sometimes it's, sensations.
Yeah.
I've one time, one of my, what I think is a visit from one of my pups. I see this kind of almost a full circle of light, that's kind of like a tannish color. And, I'm just like, hey, Booger, is that you? And I got this cold chill down all the way down my back. But then I also, at the same time, it was almost like a centipede was all these legs going down my ribs, kind of giving me a hug.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Well, it probably, did you get emotional? It's okay. I mean, I do
my pups are my kids.
Yeah. So you did. That's great. Yeah.
Because with my dad, I saw with what a fucking monster my dad was.
Wow.
He was bringing me up to be a little version of him. And I recognized that early. And I'm thinking, well, hey, my childhood sucked. I am not going to put another creature, I'm not going to bring a human in and just to put him through the same shit I went through. So my dogs ended up being my kids. So
that's what mine was too. Yeah. I never had any kids either. I said, I'm not bringing a kid in young, like 9-10 years old. I already knew how bad the world was because my dad was a cop and come home, talking. I'd hear them talking and they thought we were sleeping, and I'd hear him talking about work and how bad it is being a cop in New York.
Yeah.
But that's what it was back then. Yeah, it's amazing that. So you don't have any kids either, like, because I don't, and I never had any. You just had the dog.
Yep. Yeah, that's just my 4 boys.
Man, there's so many of us. It's true.
Yeah.
Guys like us, who chose not to have kids for whatever reason, and we got dogs, and maybe it's that unconditional love they give us.
Yeah. It's, hey, no matter what, you come home, your pup's always going to have a smile on his face for you. He's not going to, gripe at you. You didn't take out the trash, or you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's just, hey, you're home. I'm happy to see you. It's something nice when you've had a shitty day and you come home to that. You know?
Yeah, instead of coming home to, is that you? Can you take the garbage out? Oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Can you get the
Yeah.
garbage? I'm cooking. I don't have time to talk. Yeah, Mom, on the phone. It's Richie. I don't have time for that right now. What? What? Oh, you're kidding. We got to buy those shoes. Yeah, you don't have time to me. You want to talk to your mom about shoes. I'm getting a dog. What? Go ahead. That was the last day we ever spoke. No, I'm
Yep.
kidding. It wasn't. But I tried the marriage thing, 9 years, 10-year relationship. And I never wanted to get married either, but I did it because I felt pressure from everybody. You should get married. But she didn't want kids either. So never had them. Anyway,
Right.
you never know what life's going to throw at you. I'm very happy for the time. Everything's an experience for me. I call it a life experience, a lesson. That's all it is. Without that, I wouldn't be me, you wouldn't be you, and our
Yeah.
audience wouldn't be them.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good and the bad. They both change you. And it's just a matter of looking for what lesson is in all the bad shit that happens. What can I learn from it? What good can I take from it to make myself better? To learn this, to get better at doing this or controlling this. It's, even though something is completely horrible, there is something good, something helpful, some lesson in it. It's just, you just have to find it and realize that's what I need to work on. I see I see, why did this happen? What is this supposed to show me? Realize it, learn it, improve yourself.
Do you life lessons, and you said growing up you used to watch all the TV shows that were on about the paranormal, In Search of, and what do you watch now?
I'm a history kind of guy, a technical. I watch shit for fun. I've always liked mystery type things. So Oak Island, they may never find anything, but
It's the
shit.
adventure.
Yeah, it's hey, little bits here and there, weird shit. Well, it's still all that. How did somebody's bone get fucking 200 feet down into the ground?
Yeah.
That in itself is okay. Well, what happened? Something, some mystery, something to keep you involved, something to keep you questioning. So I watch History Channel stuff. A lot of documentaries on all kinds of things between world wars and Egyptian history. I love Egyptian history. Technical wise, I'm always I'm watching something on YouTube and learning something. Wood turning. I do wood turning, so I watch a lot of wood turning videos. It's just techniques and things. I just try and learn things.
There's a lot of information out there, but sometimes it's hard to disseminate what's real and what's fake. I mean, these guys fake things so well, but you can still tell if you do frame by frame analysis. You could figure it out. It's very frustrating watching all these shows. I don't know who to trust, but I have to tell you, I'm a big fan of Ghost Adventures. I like Zach now. I used to hate him, but after a while, look, I know it's for TV, but I don't mind being taken away out of my reality for a little bit just to imagine if this other side is real.
Yeah, if you with that show especially, personally, I think Zach's a fucking douchebag. But if you take it with if they come up and get in your face and this is real, this is that, and then they're pulling the shit that they're pulling, that's double douchebaggery. But if you go in and watch a show like that, okay, it's a cameraman or something throwing a rock behind the wall when they can't see it or something like that. For the adventure and for the fun, for the entertainment of it is one thing.
But I've never seen any deception. and I've been looking for it. And then I look at, debunking ghost adventures, and somebody's trying to prove that so and so did what you just said, threw a rock. And I said, no, he didn't. That's not what happened. You're lying. And I still don't see any evidence of fakery.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know where it is. So people just say it, but do you know of anything I could look at that shows it?
I haven't watched that show in years.
Oh, okay. All right.
know, if they have pulled anything lately that I could point out, man. Like I said, I haven't watched it in years.
I had to
even
ask.
like the old,
the
old Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
They came off pretty squared away, but then again, they also had a thing of, we had producers that would throw a little something here and there, and whatnot. So,
well, maybe they didn't know.
They did. That was kind of the show that really got the ball rolling on that type of stuff.
They were you're right. I remember when it came out, I was in love with that show. I'm like, I can't believe it's two guys from Roto-Rooter. This is unbelievable. Roto-Rooter Ghost Hunters. This is unbelievable. Hey, honey, you got to come watch this show. And we would watch it I think it was on Sunday nights. I like Grant. He's really nice. I'm like, the bald guy's cool. Yeah. They're doing it the right way. See, they're helping people. They're not just going there looking for evidence and not helping people. They're helping people, we said. I love that. Hey, I want to say hi to some people who just came in. Sandra Lee, Dark Hour Paranormal, Arizona Lerps, Brett Lewis, Autopilot, of course, and Lee Hodgepodge. Yep, we're talking with Jim Greenman. If you didn't notice the thumbnail, it's all green. That's right, tough guys. I do things subliminally. All right, so we've been talking for almost an hour and a half. I can't believe it. We said we'd probably do an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I could talk all year. I could go nonstop. I think this New Year's, I'm not going to go for the record. You know what the record is for continually talking on a podcast or radio show? It's like 84 hours.
Damn.
I thought it was like 15 hours because we were going to do it, and I went 8 hours and 45 minutes. And then my diabetes was because I didn't eat, and I started feeling really sick, so I canceled it at 4 a.m. And then I looked it up in Guinness Book of World Records. I think it was like 84. I go, no way am I going to break that.
Yeah, man.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude. And that was probably done by some radio disc jockey as a promo stunt back in the 50s or 60s or some shit like that.
It wasn't that long ago, actually. But yeah, that's how, when they originated it, remember, they used to have those, keep your hand on the car. Whoever keeps it on there the longest wins 4 gallons of gasoline from Shell.
Yeah, or the old dancing contests where they'd have couples come out, and then you just see them like barely hold on, and one couple at a time just drop to the fucking ground, and they'd shuffle them out.
Do you remember that on Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley? When they had the dance off, and then Fonzie and Laverne or something like that came out on top with doing this incredible dance, and they were dead tired.
Yeah, it was like they hit the wall and got this sudden adrenaline burst or some shit.
Yeah, they were having a dance off against the other couple that was like Cuban dancers or something. Fonzie could do anything. He was paranormal.
How so?
Fonzie. Well, hit a wall.
The jukebox trick.
Snap a finger and 4 girls come.
Well, that would be handy.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. No complaints on that one.
Fonzie was the coolest though. I had a Fonzie shirt, and he would go, "Hey," it was all blue, and it had Fonzie on the front like this. So stupid. My mother got me that shirt, and I'm like 9 years old, and I hated it. I wore it one time. I wish I would have kept it though. Do you have any we're almost done actually. Do you do anything on your podcast that we should know about?
I don't have a podcast.
See, I thought so.
Yeah, I just get invited, it all started, I got on to UFO Buster Radio. Manny had me tell a couple stories, and then, Gutter or Gooter, as we call him over there, he had me on, and it just kind of like snowballing. It's like, okay, well, shit, I'll talk. Why not?
You're the flavor of the month. You're like the hot potato.
I guess I'll be washed out next week and forgotten like a cheap whore.
Aren't we all? We're all forgotten about.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
true.
I wanted to say something, and I don't know if you ever heard this before, but has anybody ever told you you resemble somebody, an actor?
Not necessarily an actor. I had Gutter say that I sounded like Tom Selleck.
Oh my God, you do.
When I still don't hear it. But yeah, I was on Manny's show, UFO Buster, and he's like, "You sound like Tom Selleck." I don't hear it, but hey, Tom got laid back in the day like crazy. So I mean, it could be worse. It could be to be compared to.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there is one guitar player because I was play guitar years ago from the band King's X. Somebody told me that I looked like Ty Tabor, the guitar player from that band. But at the time I had my long hair, he had long hair, we had similar kind of glasses and whatnot, so it kind of fit more. Other than that, I've never been told I look like a movie star.
I'm pulling up the guy who you look like because it's unbelievable. It's uncanny. And I'm surprised nobody else had seen this. Hold on. I got to get the right one here. I think this might be it. Yep.
Better not be Marty Feldman.
Who?
Marty Feldman. Remember the Young Frankenstein?
Oh, no, it's not.
The guy that played Igor?
No, you don't look like that guy.
My eyes bug out like that.
No, he's got Marty Feldman eyes. Remember that song? Remember the song Betty Davis eyes?
She's Betty Davis eyes. Oh.
And then Weird Young Alkovich did. He has Marty Feldman eyes. Okay, here's the guy you look like. Hold on. Let me. Now I don't know his name here. Let me see. Yep, I know his name now, but it's not the best picture of him, but you'll know who I'm talking about. I'm sharing the screen. Hold on. Okay, I'll tell you. It is from the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And you look like his best friend, this guy.
Oh, what was it? Cameron or something?
His name, yeah, Cameron, Alan Ruck. That's who you look like. From the position you have the camera in.
Jeez,
now, I don't see you head on. No, that's a young version. You don't.
He's got more hair.
You see, now you look different. But from this angle, that's who you look like. Let me see what happens here if I play this. Oh, that's the trailer to the movie. Yeah, you kind of did from that the camera angle. Then when you now you look different. All right, this isn't working. Oh, here it goes.
Note to self, change lighting.
I don't want to play that because I'll get in trouble. Oh man, well, I'm sorry to do that to you. I said don't get mad.
I'm not mad, man.
I know. All right. All right, everything's back to normal. Okay. Norm is saying, what's all this? Hey, Norm, the Norm.
Norm.
Yeah, we are. I guess we're done. I guess unless.
I don't know. Whatever. You want to talk about something?
What?
You want to talk about something?
Did you work during the coronavirus? I forget.
Part of the way. Locksmith. So a lot of this stuff has been on lockdown. When it all first hit, I had one of my customers had a break-in. Somebody took a master key, so I had to rekey 3 office buildings.
Wow.
And, my wife is works at a hospital, so she's in and out of the hot zones regularly. And
she could have been sick.
Well, she came down with something. They gave her 2 tests. Now, the doctors blew both tests off because they're like, you have all the symptoms. It's got to be it. And the tests are only like 30% accurate. That's what the doctors told her. So, I was on quarantine for a while, after that. And I just took some time off of work because, my boss, he's a great guy, but he's also, in that age group and he's had, health issues. So I, out of fear of bringing something from, her hospital to my house to back to work, I took some time off, and then I've just been doing calls out of the house. So when they get something, they call me, I hop in the truck, I go and I do it. But today I'm back to reporting to the office in the morning, regular hours.
Well, I got good news for you. The chat room says you kind of look like a young Larry David. Oh, that's not a bad thing, I guess. Here's one that says, that, by the way, that was from Big Cat. Arizona Lerps says, Michael Rappaport, a little bit, maybe, yeah. My
I'm horrible
favorite
with
one
actors'
is.
names.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
horrible with actors' names. I don't know either of those guys.
Well, you'll know this one. Lee Bodge happily says, you look like Denzel Washington. That's
Denzel?
a good. That's not a
Well,
bad
he's a
one.
good actor, man. He's a good
Yeah.
actor.
He is a great actor. He's a great actor. All right. Well, I have a feeling this is where we should stop.
All right, then.
I thank you very much, man. This was amazing. Another great
No problem.
night. What's
Thanks for
that?
having me on.
Oh,
No problem,
yeah.
man. Thanks for having me on.
Can do you want to tell people where they could find you or contact you, or not really?
Well, you know,
For any purpose?
The easiest way, you know, hey, if you're in San Diego, you're looking for a guitar player, something like that.
Nice.
You know, the easiest way is through the Discord UFO Buster chat. I am there, you know, a couple times a day. So that would probably be, you know, look me up on Discord. I mean, other than that, I don't have a channel. I don't have anything, you know. I did time in bands around San Diego, a couple shows up in LA, but that was 15 so years ago, you know.
Hey, before we go, I want to show you one video. I don't know if you heard about this. This is just the world we live in now, because everybody's got a camera. You never know when you're going to see a monkey steal a baby. I thought I'd share that with the audience before we go. A monkey stealing a baby, a human baby. You ready? Go.
Hey, Mash.
Damn!
So,
Now, now that is a circus monkey, or a trained monkey, I should say. But in that part of the world, they said that the monkeys try to barter and make deals with people. So he was just looking to take a baby to someone to make a deal for more peanuts or something. He just grabbed the baby. Usually, isn't that crazy?
I don't know whether to be pissed or impressed. I mean, for one thing, dude, the monkey's not that much bigger than the kid, and to be able
Right.
to haul off its own body weight that quick is rather impressive. I mean, the monkey definitely needs a fucking ass whooping. But
and it does have a leash around its neck. You can't see. It's hard to see,
well,
but
yeah,
it does.
The little bastard's trying to take hostages.
Well, the thing is, 30 years ago, before we had phones everywhere, if somebody would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed it. You know, so
Yeah,
that's the world we're living in. Well,
yeah,
thank you.
At
Oh,
this
go
point, man, I don't put anything past people on the planet. You know, I always say, imagine the most craziest fucked up thing you can imagine. Somebody's doing it right now.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said that any better, actually, because
So-
that's true. There's a lot of things I haven't seen that
Yeah.
I've seen on the internet I never thought I'd see.
Yeah, somewhere right now there's some 500-pound guy in a pink tutu with blue bunny ears doing circles in his fucking living room.
It's true.
Guarantee you it. Somewhere on the planet.
Well, thanks for coming on again. And Jim, it's a pleasure. I'm sure we'll see you around. So I want to say thanks again.
Thanks, man. Have a good one, and have a good one, everybody in the chat.
And if we see you in the chat room, he's Greenman. All right.
That's me.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. We're out of
Thanks,
here.
man.
There's no music, so have a great one, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. Oh, I have an announcement to make real quick. So if you need proof, I'll show it to you. Just take my word for it. Accidentally read off the date of the delivery of my computer. I thought it said 7/16, and I thought we were in 7/16 for some reason. So I kept telling you, it's going to be here on the 16th of June, but it was July. So I made a boo-boo. I do have that. I will show it to everyone. Well, I did. I put it in the chat room for Goof On Network so you guys can see I wasn't lying. But I guess it's going to take another, any time between now and the 16th of July. This is crazy. All right. Just want to let you know that I made a big mistake telling you guys that. What a schmuck. All right. Thank you. That was a good way to end it. See you guys Wednesday. Thanks, Greenman.
Thanks, man. Bye.